And welcome once again to the 2019 Iowa Girls State Softball Tournaments from beautiful Harlan Rogers Sports Complex in Fort Dodge, home of the Girls State Tournament, presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau. Alongside Emery Songer, I'm Lance Reno, and in just a moment we'll have the matchup right here on the Girls Digital Network between the Oskaloosa Indians and the Lancers out of North Scott. So it should be an interesting game. Oskaloosa dressed in the basic white, trimmed in maroon, and North Scott in the white tops and gray pants. We'll have the introduction of the starters coming up in a couple of minutes after we take this timeout from Fort Dodge.
MidAmerican Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right.
And we're back at Harlan Rogers Kruger Seeds Fields for the introduction of the players and the starters for both teams. Oskaloosa will be on the right. They'll be in the first base dugout. And North Scott will be to the left in the third base dugout. Emery Songer joining us, and we both have something in common. We work at the Oskaloosa radio station, who incidentally is sitting to our right.
Yeah, so it's kind of a weird Twilight Zone type moment for us, but I was in Oskaloosa recently enough to have seen a lot of these girls play.
Right now, let's go field side and get the introduction of the players.
For the Oskaloosa Indians, leading up and doing the catching, number 6, Megan Mormon. And second at third base, number 2, Ashley Kindley. Batting third at first base, number 20, Ava Bendeval. Lead-up hitter for the Indians, the designated player, number 25, Abby Brunmeyer. Batting fifth at shortstop, number 24, Maddie Haynes. Batting sixth in right field, number 23, Sophia Dykstra. Batting seventh on second base, number 15, Taylor Wills. Batting eighth in left field, number 9, Kaylee Johnson. Batting ninth, the center fielder, number 8, Malia Walker. And doing the pitching today for the Indians, number 13, Haley Hacker. And coach for the Indians, Jay Harms. Now here's your non-starters and assistant coaches for the home team from North Scott. Number 5, Claire Lewis. Number 13, Paige Westland. Number 17, Emma Sandnot. And number 18, Kylie Westland. Number 22, Kaylee Girardi. Your assistant coaches, Hallie Eller, Christy Haynes, Stephanie Baldwin. Here's your starting lineup for the North Scott Lancers, leading up and playing shortstop, number 21, Taylor Robertson. Batting second in center field, number 9, Brooke Kilburn. Batting third doing the catching, number 11, Rachel Anderson. Lead-up hitter for the Lancers in left field, number 2, Sam Lee. Batting fifth at first base, number 19, Ryan Cheek. Batting sixth, the designated player, number 12, Ashlyn Shannon. Batting seventh at right field, number 1, Abby Muller. Batting eighth at third base, number 3, Alexis Vito. Batting ninth, the second baseman, number 8, Kate Hayes. Your pitcher flex player, number 6, Kinsey Newman. Head coach for the North Scott Lancers, Holly Holton. Ladies and gentlemen, turn your attention to our home plate area. The umpires for this contest as assigned by the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. At first base, Terry Giuffretti. At third base, Tim Rogers. And calling the balls and strikes today, Mr. Mike Bell. Let's play tournament softball.
And we are back at Kruger Seeds Fields on the broadcast in Class 4A, another one of the quarterfinals. You're about to watch the game between the Oskaloosa Indians and the North Scott Lancers. Our girls softball tournament coverage presented by Iowa Farm Bureau and the Iowa Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company. Emery Songer joining us, and we both have fond memories, maybe, of Oskaloosa. And you had the chance to work with Oskaloosa coach Jay Harms as well.
Yeah.
He's had established some consistency at the Oskaloosa program.
Yeah, my first year broadcasting was the first year that Coach Harms finally broke through that 37-year glass ceiling he had a hard time getting through. Obviously, the reclassifications kind of even the playing field for him. And since 2014, when he made that first maiden voyage, they've been a staple up here, including a state championship in 2016. So this is a team that I think he had some high hopes for. But if you look up and down how young the roster is, just one senior that is playing in the starting lineup, several sophomores, an 8th grader. This is a young team that's maturing a little earlier than I think he thought they would. And this is a dangerous team, to say the least. But they're going up against a very worthy opponent in the home team and the number 2 seed in this tournament, North Scott.
Well, your take, Emery, on North Scott's Lancers?
Oh, well, right now, the first thing that really stands out is the fact that they are contact hitters up and down this order. So Haley Hacker, the pitcher for Oskaloosa, is going to have to be spot on like she was in the regional final against ADM to help get this team into this tournament. But the Lancers have an excellent job offensively of putting the ball in play, wrapping out hits, not super aggressive on the base pass, but they get it done, and they don't strike out an awful lot as a unit. Also, they have an excellent pitching staff as well. Multiple pitchers who have been a part of 20-plus games, which is not something you typically see in softball. So if starting pitcher Kenzie Newman happens to run into a little bit of trouble here, Ashlyn Shannon runs into a little bit of trouble here, I can tell you that they have the other arms ready to go here in this particular game, and they are not going to be tied just to one pitcher throughout the ball game here.
Yeah, Newman was originally, I think, listed. She is the flex player, so there was a change made. Ashlyn Shannon, number 12, is going to be the pitcher.
So they used the flex even before the game. That's interesting.
Here's the first pitch to the leadoff hitter for Oskaloosa, Megan Moorman, the catcher. It's a strike called by plate umpire Mike Bell. And we're underway on this one, starting at 3:23, about 20 minutes late. As the next delivery is in, down for the hit. Oskaloosa getting their first runner on base. Didn't waste much time in going after that pitch. Megan Moorman.
Moorman has been
Kindley coming up.
Moorman and Kindley is about to step in as Kindley's going to get the courtesy runner here. They have been staples since they were 8th graders in Coach Harm's lineup, and they have been around for every bit of success that their team has had. Would not surprise me if they lead the charge here in this one against North Scott.
We have a courtesy runner, looks like, at first base for Oskaloosa, and that would be Messia Cryer. And pitch into the dirt for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Just underway here, the 4A quarterfinals.
Yeah, not only
following us or the 5A.
Not only is Macy Cryer a great runner, but she's also the catcher in waiting with Moorman.
Next pitch bounces into the dirt. That gives Oskaloosa's Ashley Kindley, the third baseman, a 2-0 lead on the count. Cryer has some speed, ready at first base. Here's the pitch from Shannon. Oskaloosa fans are known to be a little bit noisy.
Oh, my.
You got the cheering squad on the front row right to our right.
They are as obnoxious a fan base as there is, and this team loves it.
Here's the 3-0 delivery. Taken for a strike by Kindley. Coach Harms through the sign set down at third base. First baseman will come charging in, anticipating bunt. Here's the pitch taken for a strike, and the throw down almost. Cryer lucky that the first baseman dropped the ball.
Yeah, the second baseman, Hayes, actually came over to cover with Cheek, the first baseman, charging in for the bunt attempt. That's just great wheel defense, knowing your responsibility, and they almost had Cryer picked off.
3 balls, 2 strike count. Bunted about 6 feet in front of the plate, only one play. The sacrifice advances Cryer to second as Kindley does what she was asked to do.
Goes 5-4 in the scorebook, but I don't know about you, Lance, but first inning on 2 strikes, you're going to ask her to still lay that bunt down. A lot of trust in his senior there, and she gets the job done.
You want to get that lead, and that's been pattern of the games here. Get the lead early in that first inning. It has led to more success than not. With the left-handed batting, Avery Vanderwall.
So, interesting note about Ava Vanderwall. As an 8th grader in 2016, she hit the walk-off RBI to win Oskaloosa their state title against Carlisle.
Here's the next pitch in the air. Center fielder over, makes the catch on the run. And 2 gone here in the Oskaloosa first inning. Visiting team runner at second, looking to take the lead. Sunshine and 74 degrees. Very little breeze here today. Ashlyn Shannon in, and the ball is foul. We have seen a couple of balls go down that right field line into the corner and resulted in extra base hits. One of which should have been a triple, but got a little slow turn going around second and got thrown out by a step at third. Here's the delivery. Fastball from Shannon. Ivory Brandmeier is the batter for Oskaloosa. She tried to catch up to that one, couldn't. The delivery goes outside. Shannon working both sides of the plate here, trying to find where her best spot will be to throw that ball in.
Brandmeier, one of those young sophomores in the middle of this Oski order for Coach Harms.
Goes foul with the next delivery. Brandmeier staying alive. Maddie Haynes waits on deck for the Indians. Boys basketball champions this past year. A lot of school pride. Change up. Into the gap in left. It's going to bounce off the fence. Around third and scoring is Cryer. And pulling in at second with an RBI double is Brandmeier. Oskaloosa gets on the scoreboard.
You see that?
That answers your question, why you bunt in the first inning.
And absolutely, even with 2 strikes, Kinley gets it down. That answers the bell there. And then Brandmeier with 2 outs, showing that gap power she possesses, her 5th double of the season. And for the most part, for a hitter that's just a sophomore, hasn't gotten a ton of at-bats until the last year or so. But that's 25 RBIs already, and that's a team high.
With the batter's box now, the shortstop, Maddie Harris. And the first pitch is a strike called.
So
Sophie Dykstra waits on deck for the Indians. 1 run on 2 hits so far here in the top of the first from Harlan Rogers Sports Complex and Kruger Seeds Field. Pitch goes low.
Yeah, Maddie Haynes here, the sophomore shortstop, as an 8th grader, hit 5 bombs, hit almost 10 home runs last year, but had a little bit of a down year with the average and the power. They'd love to see her bat wake up here at the state tournament.
Here's a smash past the second baseman. It's going to go to the fence. Around third, looking to score is Brandmeier. RBI single to center for Maddie Haynes. Perfectly placed base hit.
And right on cue there, Lance. This is a girl that has a ton of pop in the bat, even though her numbers don't really indicate that this year. She is a big-time player, and if she can get that bat going here at the state tournament, that makes this lineup all that more dangerous.
Coach Harms giving the signs down at third. 2 runs, and I'm sure Jay would say that's not enough here in the first
Not close to
at-bat.
enough. No, sir.
As we've had some warm-up activity for North Scott coming from the bullpen.
Talked about in the pregame, Lance. They got 4 girls they trust to go and pitch in games. They're not going to waste any time.
Sophie Dykstra, the right fielder, is in the batter's box for the Indians. She takes a first pitch for a ball. The scoreboard, by the way, has been a little delayed through the course of the day. Must be something in the controller, so keep notes on your score sheet there.
I got you.
Dykstra moved ahead on the count now. 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah.
Wanting to save a chance for Taylor Willis to bat here. Indians up here in the top of the first. 4A quarterfinals. The next pitch goes low for a ball.
Dykstra, another one of these kind of blooming batters this season as an underclassman for Coach Harms. He keeps finding them some way, somehow.
Pitch is taken for a strike by Dykstra. 6th batter up in the inning here.
2
Oskaloosa
huge.
looking to capitalize as best they can.
Yeah, 2 huge 2-out RBI hits by Brandmeier and Haynes.
And there's another one in the gap. Going to be a tough play for the right fielder on the run. Moeller makes the grab. And that saved a run for North Scott. But the Indians up with 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and strand 1. We go to the bottom of the first on the Iowa Farm Bureau Mid-American Energy Company Championship Network from the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament.
Mid-American Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
I am smart.
I am smart.
I am smart.
I am kind.
Kind.
I am kind.
I am strong.
Strong.
Strong. I am important.
I am important.
I am important.
I am the Iowa girl.
I am the Iowa girl.
I am the Iowa girl.
I am the Iowa girl. I am the Iowa girl.
I am the Iowa girl. I am the Iowa girl.
Lance Trino and Emery Songer here from the Kruger Seeds Field at the Girls State Softball Tournament, presented by Iowa Farm Bureau and the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company. And we've got what shapes up to be here, Emery, a pretty good matchup so far. Oskaloosa trying to get the psychological advantage and score first.
You talked about it, when you get that first run, that takes some level of weight off your team. But Oskaloosa as a unit, a lot of these sophomores, yes, they're young, but they were here a couple years ago. And Oskaloosa has a state championship in the last 3 years as well. Members of this team were a part of that as well. So North Scott trying to kind of break through here, but Oski spots Haley Hacker, the young pitcher, with a 2-0 lead before she even has to throw a pitch.
Haley Hacker, the pitcher, a left-handed hurler for Oskaloosa, facing shortstop Taylor Robertson of North Scott, who puts one inside the bag. A fair ball down the line at third base. Into the corner. She's going to head for 3 and make it sliding in. That was a tough call down the line there for 3. Fans, all extra base hits during the Girls State Softball Tournament are brought to you by Kruger Seeds. The next time you're in need of corn or soybean seed, give your local Kruger Seeds dealer a call. Kruger Seeds, first-class seed, first-name service.
Third triple of the year right there for Taylor Robertson, and that's a great start to answer for the Lancers.
Here comes the bunt attempt, fouled off into the batter's box. Plate umpire Bell with the prompt call. North Scott, probably with the higher seed.
Yeah.
Looking to answer here. The runs put on the board by the Oskaloosa Indians.
Said it in the pregame, Lance. This is a team that can put it in play, and they can put it in play hard.
Here's the bunt attempt. Caught in the air by the first baseman. Throws to third. Vanderwall to Kinley for a double play.
How about that? You have your first baseman charging in already on the bunt attempt. Kilbert can't lay it down, pops it up. A shoestring grab by Vanderwall, and then Kinley able to retreat, cover the bag over there at third base. And just like that, 2 outs.
And it helps, too, that she's a left-hander from first. That's a natural throw over to third. Here's a long foul down the right field line by Rachel Anderson, who is the catcher for the Lancers of North Scott. 26 wins on the year. They finished 4th, believe it or not, in the Mississippi Athletic Conference with a 12-6 record for Coach Holly Hotling.
And got the 2 seed in this tournament.
Correct.
It's crazy.
There's some rated teams that didn't make it here. Pitch goes outside, working the outside corner.
It's a wide open bracket.
Sam Lee is the on-deck hitter for the Lancers.
Talk about a wide open bracket, Lance. When a team that finished 4th in their conference is the 2 seed in the tournament, that's unbelievable.
The next delivery. Off speed with a break-in pitch, just missed on the inside. And you got to look at the Class 5A that same way.
Oh, yeah.
There's no prohibitive favorite. Waukee is the number 1 team, but don't look past Ottumwa. Here's the next pitch. Fouled to the screen, off to the right.
Is that true that you and I are both Ottumwa born and
We
bred?
both worked in Ottumwa.
Yeah, how about that?
I wasn't
You weren't born in
there.
a Tellboy?
No, moved into work there.
Southeast Iowa represent, though. How about
Correct.
that?
Here's the pitch in the air, but playable. Walker draws the bead, hauls it in. That's out number 3 here in the first. No runs on a hit, no errors, and none left. Nice defense by the Indians. We go to the top of the second with Oskaloosa 2-0 over North Scott.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hey, high school sports fans. Are you following the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union online? Stay up to date with the latest information and scores from across the state as we share highlights and achievements from our student athletes. You can follow all the action on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Just search at IGHSAU.
Leaders start at Central College. Scholar athletes succeed on the court and in the classroom. In the past year, 112 Central College student athletes received academic all-conference recognition. Learn how you can be more than a spectator by visiting central.edu. Top of the second inning rolling around, and Oskaloosa sent 6 hitters to the plate in the first inning, which is a good jump getting through that lineup the first time around.
And they got some good contact hitters. Taylor Wills has been a top-of-the-order hitter the first couple of years of her career, but now as a junior slides down to the 7-hole. And then Kaylee Johnson and Malia Walker both have the ability to get on base as well. And then all of a sudden, Lance, you're back to that dangerous top of the order that got everything going in the first.
Ashlyn Shannon out for her second inning of work. There was some warm-up action in the pen as Oskaloosa rattled Shannon with their runs. Could have had a third in the top of the first. Next pitch to Willis is strike called. Taylor Wills, Kaylee Johnson, and Malia Walker. This one is fouled off. We have seen time and again the first 2 days of the tournament, the teams that are able defensively to handle the bunt are going to be in good shape.
Lots of bunts.
So far, North Scott has had a little bit of problem with the bunt. 1 ball and 2 strikes, no outs. In the air, foul. To the net. Nope. Somebody make a catch.
It looked like
that's 3 for 3 for the day.
Hey, this net makes it a little bit. If they make it into the stands, it's got to be on a nice soft trajectory.
Take it over to the concession stand. Get a chicken sandwich.
Get that free
on
food.
A foul ball. Pitch is outside. We see Shannon trying to work different locations here. Oskaloosa not biting on the ones just off the edge of the plate.
Rachel Anderson, the catcher, did a nice attempt to frame it there, but Mike Bell didn't buy it.
Pitch is chopped. Foul down the third base line. Nearly rolled into the fair territory.
She's got great speed, so when she gets a little soft hitter like that rolls slowly in fair territory, that's going to be an easy infield hit for Taylor Wills.
Looking to get on and keep everything and the line moving here. In low and 3-2 count upcoming. From the Kruger Seeds Field, I'm Lance Reno and Emery Songer, watching the Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau and the Girls Union Digital Network. Here's a chopper. Tough play for the shortstop, Robertson. And she is not in time on the throw. Excellent hustle down the line by Taylor Wills. She sprung literally out of that batter's box.
I was telling you, Lance, I've seen this girl run, and she was a huge part of that come-from-behind victory in the state tournament, in the state championship game against Carlisle a few years ago. Even as an 8th grader and a 9th grader, she's been a huge piece to that and just legged out an infield hit.
And we have a pitching change upcoming for North Scott. Now coming out onto the field to take the pitching rubber is Drew Lewis.
It's interesting. When you look at the statistics, Shannon wasn't going to be the player I would expect. I thought Ryan Cheek was probably the sophomore. Ryan Cheek was probably going to be the player that I thought they would go to. She's got the most innings pitched this season. They had the best ERA, the most strikeouts. So statistically, Cheek has been the best, but they went with the sophomore or the senior instead of the sophomore. Now the junior is the first player out of the pen.
So we have the first pitching change of today's game. Our substitutions are being brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at IMTINS.com. Normally, you're going to make a pitching change after a half inning. Baseball, it's a given. You make a change during the inning, so it's a little unusual here. But you can't, down 2 runs, let Oskaloosa, if you're North Scott, get a couple more here.
And you have 3 pitchers that have all pitched over 60 innings this year, so you do have the ability to have other arms in play here, which is something that not a lot of teams, most teams don't have at their fingertips. So for the coaching staff for North Scott, Holly Holting trying to make sure that this doesn't get away from her here early. She's got 3 pitchers. Why not use them all?
So Shannon right now has gone 1+. And I think this has maybe happened before because the kids didn't seem to react one way or the other. We're in the top of the second. Oskaloosa scored 2 runs on 3 hits in the top of the first. North Scott did not score in the bottom of the first, and we move here to the batter, number 8 hitter in the lineup, the left fielder Kaylee Johnson, right-handed batter. Runner at first is Taylor Wills, reaching on the infield single. She's got wheels. Pitch is butted off the umpire shoulder pad, and that can sting a little bit. There's no way you can duck out of the way on that one.
It's the reason I've never entertained being an umpire, Lance. That is 100% the reason why.
You really feel it when you take one right smack dab in the middle of the mask. Next pitch from Lewis is a strike. So this is a tough at bat for Johnson. Not only does she have a speedy runner at first, she's facing Lewis, who's throwing her first pitches of the game. Took a little off on the change, and Johnson down on strikes, first out here in the Oskaloosa second.
The pressure definitely going to be on not only Lewis here in the circle now, but for Haley Hacker for Oskaloosa as well, knowing that you got to keep them at zeros.
Pitch is butted, foul by Malia Walker. Lewis is more closely oriented to the plate with her deliveries, and she's trying to change speeds a little bit. Now that can also, in the psyche of Oskaloosa, mess them up a little bit. Changing speeds and locations. Here's the foul ball.
Dropped the bat head both times there from the 8th grader on the bunt attempt, but you're right. You've seen an inning plus worth of the same delivery over and over again, able to watch and kind of try to time Shannon's, but now you have to readjust and learn what Lewis is throwing.
Next delivery comes in low. And I got a funny feeling, you just said something that triggered it. I wouldn't be surprised to see a second pitcher or a third pitcher for North Scott before we're through. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. 1 out, runner at first. And a stolen base attempt. Safe at second. The throw from Anderson, the catcher, to the shortstop Robertson looked like it was going to be there in time, but it wasn't.
Wills,
we
that's
have
10 stolen.
2 outs now on the strikeout.
10th stolen base. That's a team high for Wills. That was bang, bang, though. It was an excellent throw by Anderson, but Lewis comes in. Lance, first 2 batters, 2 strikeouts.
They were looking for the double play, the strikeout and the throw 'em out. Megan Mormon stands up. She scored the game's first run. She had a single in the first inning at bat. She bats here in the second with her runner in scoring position relatively. At second base in Taylor Wills. Right-handed pitcher Lewis looking in. Laying off the pitch is Mormon. Boy, that one was tantalizing.
She has always been excellent at knowing where that zone is as a backstop. And here in her junior season, 16 walks to only 8 strikeouts offensively. That's unbelievable.
It's a good batter to have as your leadoff. Here's one into the dirt, wild pitch. And Wills heads for third base, standing up.
Might as well just
no way for the catcher Anderson to field that one.
Might as well give her first base on this one. Don't give her a meatball to hit and drive this run in.
Takes the count to 3 balls and no strikes. The sign given by Anderson. Here's the delivery showing bunt. It's a strike called, almost the automatic. The runner at third down the line about 15 feet that time. Looked like she was waiting for the throw to go, and then maybe a delay steal.
She's the runner to do it.
Drew Lewis working on it, and now has run the count full as Mormon fouls it off. Top of the second inning here, Oskaloosa leading North Scott 2-0 from the Girls State Softball Tournament. And you're watching it on the Digital Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company. Emery Songer alongside me, Lance Reno. Here's a 3-2 in the air. Maybe hanging up too much, and on the run, the center fielder Kilberg able to run under it and pull it in for the out to retire Oskaloosa in the inning. No runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the second, 2-0 Oskaloosa.
Mid-American Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
I wanted a big university experience.
Without the big university price.
That's why I chose Iowa Central.
What makes Iowa Central so different than other community colleges is its size.
Big campus, lots of programs, athletics, and performing arts.
I live right here on campus.
And the teachers know me by name.
I'll be career ready in 2 years.
And all my credits transfer to a university.
It's a big time experience.
Without the big time price.
Come see for yourself.
Haley Hacker will be working on the 4, 5, and 6 hitters in the lineup from the Lancers of North Scott. What a tremendous play, Emery, to end the bottom of the first inning with the double play.
Yeah, Brooke Kilberg did an excellent job of just reading that. She kind of looked like a major leaguer kind of easing into the gap. She had a good beat on it the whole way. North Scott plays very good defense as well. If they can get some pitching from Drew Lewis throughout the next few innings, get this offense going, it's going to be an interesting one, Lance.
Hacker will face Sam Lee, the left fielder. First pitch to Lee is a ball called. Ryan Cheek, the first baseman, and Ashlyn Shannon, who was listed as the designated player, is now the pitcher for North Scott, will follow. Here's a delivery in the air. Shallow left field. Playable on the run. Back to the infield. Haynes, the shortstop, makes the play.
She's sneaky athletic there at shortstop's got a great arm, good range shown there. Left fielder Kaylee Johnson didn't get a very good read on that one at all, and lucky for her, Haynes was able to drop back and make a good catch. And for Hacker, getting that first out every inning is going to be super important as she holds the lead.
Ryan Cheek, first baseman, left-handed batter, facing a left-handed pitcher. The eyes were a little bit big as she turned away from that one that was inside, almost inside her jersey. 1 ball and no strikes. Third baseman Kindley expecting a possible ball hit her way. Change-up down in the zone, nicely placed by Hacker. Evens the count at 1-1.
Had her guessing wrong there. Interesting, Cheek's playing first base in this game, but she has the best pitching numbers of anybody they have, so she could be available to pitch later on in this game as well.
Hacker comes back, tries to change the eye level. We'll see what her next pitch is as she has a 2-ball, 1-strike count on the batter, Ryan Cheek. The delivery grounded to second to the right side. Wills to Vanderwall for out number 2. That's the way you want to do it. Throw fewer pitches and get the outs. To the plate now comes Ashlyn Shannon.
And you know Coach Harms as well as I do, defense is something he's been preaching to these girls since they were in elementary school, and Wills has been an infielder for him for a long time. She is as good as it gets.
So with 2 outs and nobody on, Ashlyn Shannon, the pitcher for North Scott. Pitch comes up around shoulder high for a ball. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau and the Mid-American Energy Company Championship Network. We're still in the quarterfinals. 4A will wrap up this afternoon, and then at 5 o'clock we start the 5A. Atumwa will take on Waukee on this Cougar Fields Diamond. Should be an interesting game there. The 5A field, I think, is wide open. No favorites, as you might have had in the other classes. Ball is fouled off. We coming a little bit too close to our cameras again.
They seem to have targets on them when they're setting up there.
And we're not endorsing a store brand here.
No, sir.
Here's the 2-1 count. Pitch. Line drive. Interesting way that Hacker played that one. Nonchalantly stuck out her glove. The ball sticks. And the line drive is out number 3 here for North Scott. In the bottom of the second, no runs, hits, errors are left. We go to the top of the third from Harlan Rogers Field. Oskaloosa leads it 2-0.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
In Iowa, we all play by the same rules. Hard work pays off, practice makes perfect, success is something you earn, and teamwork helps us all be winners. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics. Because on our team and on yours, what we bring to the table is what brings us all together. Learn more about our commitment to Iowa at iowapork.org.
The advantage right here is we go to the top of the third for Oskaloosa. They've gone through their lineup once. North Scott is yet to get to the number 7 hitter. Leading off the third, Ashley Kindley, the third baseman, had a sacrifice her first time up, and that moved Mormon into scoring position. She later scored on Brandmeier's double. The pitch inside at the knees, a called strike.
Yeah, interesting thing, though, as you mentioned, Lance, this is the first time, though, that the top of the order is taking a look at Drew Lewis, who came into the game in relief in the second.
There's your scoreboard that, again, is off. Here's strike 3 called. Fastball outside corner at the knees.
So Drew Lewis has come in relief and has seen 4 batters and has struck 3 of the 4 batters out.
So let's see now what Ava Vanderwall can do. The Indians' first baseman.
Yeah, they messed up the count. The scoreboard count had made the umpires, and Kinley is settling. But as far as my scorebook, which Lance, I don't like to brag, but I'm pretty sure is 100% accurate, and I believe that is a strike 3.
I had 1 and 2. So Kinley, we must correct ourselves, is not out on strikes. As we check now the count. That's why the base umpires as well.
Well, you said it, Lance. I hadn't been on this field yet. I've been over on the other field today so far, and
there's something in the controller that's not allowing the person running the scorebook. It should be no balls and 2 strikes on the count. That's what it was, and we've got the video evidence here.
So was it a strikeout?
No, not a strikeout.
All right, so that's my.
So you got to take back your statement. I got to take back. Let's move back about 25 seconds.
Anybody got one of those time machines?
Now they say it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count on the hitter. Here's a fly ball, right center. Could be trouble, but it hangs in the air long enough for Moeller, the right fielder, to run under it. Now,
very odd.
You can mark out 1 out. We got that one right. And I like Mike Bell behind the plate, kind of a little chuckle on his face.
Yeah.
That's why you say don't always go by the scoreboard.
No.
It can be off. Here's the pitch. Up, foul territory, playable. The catcher, Anderson, nicely done, flipped the mask, was able to locate the ball and make the catch.
So I can tell you this right now. I always say this on all my broadcasts. That is the hardest play in softball as far as I'm concerned. The catcher having to go straight up, locate the ball, ditch the mask, dodge the bat, dodge the runner, dodge the umpire, and make the catch.
Here comes Abby Brandmeier, who doubled in the first run of the game for the RBI. Agree, but want to make an addition for the catcher and the umpire, because the umpire has to clear out of the road and then find the ball as well. There, you said it, and the foul ball came right back at you.
Hey,
so.
I'm sitting behind a plate. It's been a couple years since I've done softball regularly, and I was sitting behind there. I was flinching at everything. I mean, I was just like, what is going on?
Nobody on here in the top of the third inning for Oskaloosa. They have a 2-0 lead. Here's a ground ball. Playable by Hayes over to the first baseman, Cheek. 4-3 on the putout. And we have Drew Lewis maintaining her mastery as we go to the bottom of the third. It is Oskaloosa leading North Scott 2-0.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
In Iowa, we all play by the same rules. Hard work pays off, practice makes perfect, success is something you earn, and teamwork helps us all be winners. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics. Because on our team and on yours, what we bring to the table is what brings us all together. Learn more about our commitment to Iowa at iowapork.org.
Back at Kruger Seeds Fields with the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament, presented by Iowa Farm Bureau and the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by MidAmerican Energy Company, and that's what you're either watching and or listening. Emery Songer with the color, Lance Reno with the play-by-play. Both of us somewhat familiar, he more so than I, with the Indians, who are on defense. North Scott Lancers, first pitch from Hacker, popped up and playable. Vanderwall makes the catch from her first base position. Alex Beadle, the number 8 hitter, coming up.
We should clarify, Mike Bell, home plate umpire, came back and told us that the reason we had that all count messed up is because at the third strike was actually an illegal pitch called by first base umpire Terry Giuffretti.
Correct. Here's a line drive, playable at second by Willis. Now we're close to tying a record set by Minnie.
The
three-pitch inning.
Yeah, Taylor Wills kind of waited back on that a little bit, but able to make that shoestring catch. And you probably tell Kate Hayes up here at the plate, just take one, please.
7 straight set down by Hacker in the Indians' defense as Hayes steps in and looks at a strike.
You can't just let her have a 3-pitch inning, right? You just got to take one. Just watch.
That's what happened here. Spoil it. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Still anybody's game. We're in the third. It's 2-0. Next pitch is at the top of the letters for a strike. Had a nice break to it. Broke from the middle part to, as we look at it, the left edge of home plate. 0-2 the pitch. Popped foul. Out of play. Yeah, when you look for the illegal pitches, it's the left arm extended. Usually it's the base umpires that call that because they have the better view from the side than the home plate umpire does, although he can call one if they don't come to a stop and a pause there. Pitch is up high for a ball.
A little smile there from Hacker. She knows she just missed that one barely. I thought she could maybe coax a call out of Mike Bell, but he's right on top of it.
Changed speed, changed location. Here's the wind of the pitch. Just got a piece and hit some equipment back here behind us. We're a marked person here.
Well, this is not – what's interesting about this is it's actual netting and it has some give to it. It's not the chain link fence that's behind home plate over there.
Not to worry. We're far enough behind it that if it comes in this way, it isn't going to hit us. Another
you say that,
pitch
Lance.
fouled off. Have confidence.
You say that, and there's going to be a
codger.
whole plus right.
The old codger.
Oh, gosh.
So here we go. Change up that floated, but floated out of the strike zone.
Hayes, a 9-hitter here, battling the 8th pitch of the at-bat upcoming.
So what does North Scott have to do here in the inning to get something started? Momentum right now seems to be Oskaloosa's direction. Here comes the 2-2 delivery and a Swinging strike three. Got it up around the eyes. It looked big up there. Another 1-2-3 inning. 8 straight set down now by Haley Hacker on the mound as Oskaloosa will come to the plate in the top of the third inning with a 2-0 lead over North Scott.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
In Iowa, we all play by the same rules. Hard work pays off, practice makes perfect, success is something you earn, and teamwork helps us all be winners. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics. Because on our team and on yours, what we bring to the table is what brings us all together. Learn more about our commitment to Iowa at iowapork.org.
Central College is recruiting leaders to learn and
bring.
play at the place that regularly wins national team championships, national individual titles, conference titles, and conference all sports titles. Visit central.edu to learn how you can be more than a spectator. Home plate umpire Mike Bell calling time there temporarily to allow me to continue talking. Fourth inning rolling around, and we start at the number 5 spot in the Oskaloosa order on their second time around. North Scott is yet to go into their second movement around the lineup. Drew Lewis on in relief of Ashlyn Shannon. Works the first pitch in for a strike to Maddie Haynes. She has an RBI single in the first. Swing and a foul off to the left.
Okay, so interesting thing happened there before the first pitch of the inning. Home plate umpire Mike Bell walked over to the Oskaloosa dugout and said, "Stop making noise off the dugout." They were like hitting the top of the dugout to make some noise, and he said none of that. So we'll see if that kind of affects the noise and energy in that Oskaloosa dugout.
0-2, the pitch goes low. As Lewis, the reason she has been successful, she's not given up a base runner yet. She's been working mid-thigh to knees with accuracy. And Oskaloosa trying to adjust to that. Here's the pitch. Up and on the foul. There, she changed location.
Yeah, she's changing that eye level on her, trying to get her a swing and miss on that, but Haynes quick with the bat.
Didn't bite.
Quick with the bat.
Haynes, Dykstra, and Wills. Top of the fourth, halfway through on this one. The pitch. Now, that would be something like I might throw if you're batting.
That was about an 8.
Yeah.
An 8-footer. You need 45, and that made it about 8.
It's 43 feet from there, so that one probably rolled across.
Yeah.
Here's the pitch, fouled out over the top of the backstop. We are at the Kruger Seeds Field at Harlan Rogers Sports Complex in Fort Dodge. I'm Lance Reno, along with Emery Songer on the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union's digital network, powered by MidAmerican Energy Company. Here's a ground ball. Right side, fielded. In time at first. Hayes to Cheek.
Well, she's definitely
on here in the Oskaloosa fourth inning.
She's definitely stymieing them a lot better than Shannon did earlier. It's, if the offense can't get going for the Lancers, that's something the coaching staff's going to have to think about. Like, how did we just had so many pitchers and we just picked the wrong one to start the game?
It happens.
It does. It's a good problem to have usually.
Right field line, but foul. Sophie Dykstra, who flied to right. We'll see if the right fielder, Emery, makes the adjustment and the first baseman edge closer to the line here.
And you also mentioned it, too, with first baseman Ryan Cheek having statistically their best pitching numbers as well. When they maybe make it back through, if they get in any trouble at all, you can just bring her in and they'll have to readjust to another pitcher.
No balls and a strike. Count is even at 1-1 now. Taylor Wills waits on deck. Oskaloosa got 2 in the first, and that's been it. 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 error by Oskaloosa. And the foul ball out of play to the right. For North Scott, no runs on 1 hit, and that was the leadoff hit. So both pitchers right now of record, Lewis for North Scott and Hacker for Oskaloosa having their way. That's a tough play over there at second.
Great play.
Nicely done, fielded by Hayes. A little bit of space between the glove and that ball.
That was a tough play to field
Again,
that and then throw. Yeah, it was spinning away from her. That's 3 consecutive 4-3 groundouts. Brondmeyer, Haynes, and Dykstra all grounding to Hayes at second base.
Here's
Keeping
the
her
first
busy.
pitch to Taylor Wills. She was the leadoff batter in the second inning, had a single to short. Ended up at third, but Oskaloosa, having to face Drew Lewis, could not get her home. A big, important insurance run. Charging down the line is Bradley as a pitch to Taylor Wills, who showed bunt way up in the zone.
She's got the speed. If she can put it down in any space, it's going to be tough to throw her out.
The next pitch up around the letters, swinging strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 200 feet all the way around to the outfield. Here's the pitch. Popped up. Could be trouble, though, in the gap in left center field. And is it a catch?
Yeah, left fielder came up with it.
Left fielder on the run had to wait and make sure that the guys in the pink shirts, the umpires wearing the cancer survivor type shirts. It's a 1-2-3 inning once again for Drew Lewis in the top of the 4th. We go to the bottom of the 4th, Oskaloosa holding a 2-0 lead over North Scott.
Iowa Public Television is the home of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union Championships. We bring you live, uninterrupted coverage of the state championships in volleyball, basketball, soccer, and softball. Plus, special features highlighting the Iowa girl. Catch it all on statewide Iowa Public Television, on air or at iptv.org.
MidAmerican Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Back at Kruger Seeds Field, I'm Lance Reno along with Emery Songer, bringing you this quarterfinal out of Class 4A, Oskaloosa and North Scott. Right now, Oskaloosa with a 2-0 lead, and Emery, impressive pitching so far by Hacker. This is only the 10th batter she's faced, but given up 1 hit.
Yeah, and this is the batter that got the hit leading off the game, Taylor Robertson, just inside that third base line and ended up getting a triple out of it, but was cut down at home.
Taylor Robertson had the triple. Now she puts one in the air, fouled on the first base line. Beginning to sense that maybe the breeze might be guiding the ball over that way. You kind of look out to the center field area, and you can see the banner signs pointing that direction. 0-2 to Robertson, leading off the North Scott bottom of the 4th. Brooke Kilberg and Rachel Anderson, scheduled batters. Ground ball, right side, playable. And the long toss from Wills to Vanderwall, 4-3. You've been marking that down on your score sheet.
A lot.
A lot.
That's the second time for Oskaloosa in this game. Then we had 3 in a row on the other side. And so the second basemen have been very active defensively in this one.
We would be remiss. We want to come back to it here in a short. Brooke Kilberg is the batter, the center fielder. She popped into a double play her first time up.
Trying to bunt.
And your first baseman for Oskaloosa made a terrific throw. Vanderwall. Here's a pop-up, right side. Playable. Who's going to get it? Right fielder. Charging in strong, Dykstra on her horse with the catch.
There had to be something in the scouting report because she was already playing fairly shallow in right field, and if she was at normal depth, that ball's going to drop in front of her.
Drop. You're right. Rachel Anderson, the catcher for North Scott's Lancers. Flied to center her first time up. And she grounds one up the middle, not playable as it goes over second base. I was just going to mention that so far Hacker has allowed only 2 fly balls. Everything else pretty much has been down on the ground.
Well, and that's the other thing here. Second time through the order, we talk about it. You make some adjustments. And now with this meat of the order, this is the real part of the North Scott lineup that can wrap some hits together and all of a sudden change the complexion of this game. But can they do it with a 2-out rally?
And they've all put the bat on the ball. Lee has popped to short her first time up. Pops this one up. Second baseman Willis with a play. Makes the grab, and that retires North Scott here. The Timex is ticking on North Scott. No runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 left. We have played 4 complete innings. Oskaloosa with a 2-0 lead over the Lancers of North Scott.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise, and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service. We might not always know.
Lance Reno along with Emery Songer from the Kruger Seeds Field here at the Harlan Rogers Sports Complex. North Scott trailing Oskaloosa by a 2-0 score. Drew Lewis came on in the second, and she has been immaculate. Oskaloosa has not had a base runner. They've not had a base hit off of her, and 9 straight retired.
Well, and it's kind of weird that we're getting in the 5th inning just the second time through a pitcher, but she came on in relief, as you mentioned, and Oskaloosa maybe can get a little bit of an adjustment now as maybe we'll see North Scott make adjustments against Hacker second time through.
And I think that's what Coach Harms recognized for Oskaloosa. Get some while we can. As we have Carlisle won the first game here in the 4A. First pitch to Kaylee Johnson, a strikeout victim, swinging. In the second is a strike, swinging. Drew Lewis goes just a little bit high with that one. Lee is in left, Kilberg in center, Moeller in right for North Scott. Around the infield, Bradley, Robertson, Hayes, and Cheek from third to first. Bradley creeping in at third, looking for the bunt. But Lewis, with some moxie, some stuff on the ball, is not giving Oskaloosa very many good pitches to put the bat on.
And they are bamboozled by some of her pitches.
There's a swing and a foul ball back to the backstop.
I mean, no disrespect to Ashlyn Shannon, but they were reading her pitches pretty darn well. And since Lewis came on here, they have not made very good contact at all.
North Scott and or Oskaloosa will face either Charles City or Dallas Center Grimes in the next round of the tournament, whether it be the winner's bracket or the consolation bracket.
There's a couple of mainstays in this tournament over the years.
Over the years. Charles City goes back to the 70s when we started covering tournaments. 2-2 pitch, fouled over the backstop. Johnson, Walker, top of the order, and Mormon. Oskaloosa here in the 5th. How big is an extra run going to be here for Oskaloosa or for North Scott on the underside of the scoreboard? Grounded, foul, barely down the third base line.
8th pitch of this at-bat coming. Johnson, the one thing is sometimes that she's not super great at making sure she gets the bat on the ball and trying to keep herself alive, but showing that she does have that ability here, just a sophomore.
And she looks relaxed up there with a smile on her face. You can usually tell. That's great from this vantage point. You can tell by looking at the eyes what the player's thinking. She pops this one up near the – now, we don't want rain. We don't want any more of that stuff.
Up in the clouds.
We've had enough. Thank you.
She's done
Kayla
better this
Johnson,
year, though.
please.
I mean, I remember 15 walks to just 11 strikeouts. That's very different than even a couple years ago. She was striking out an awful lot.
Good eye at the plate here for Oskaloosa. The pitch, grounded left side, past the pitcher. A tough play at first, but out by a step. Nice stretch at first by Shannon over there.
I'm telling you what, Lance, I've watched 3 games so far today. I was not here yesterday. These defenses have been fantastic for the most part, making excellent plays around the diamond.
Here's the first pitch from Lewis. Swung on and fouled left by Walker. Walker followed by Mormon.
That at-bat by Johnson, that was the first time somebody actually went deep into a count against Lewis, though. So maybe Oski's starting to make a little bit of an adjustment to this new pitcher they haven't been able to figure out.
It's Ryan Cheek at first base. I misidentified her a moment ago. I apologize. You make adjustments as the game goes along. How many times do you see on the professional level, professional softball or baseball, the teams that are successful have the players that are able to make those minor adjustments in game.
And
here's
at this
the next
point,
pitch in for a ball.
At
One
this
ball and 2 strikes. Oskaloosa with the lead here in the top of the 5th. 2 runs on 4 hits, committing 1 error. North Scott, no runs on 2 hits, have not committed an error. Another one goes foul.
At this point, Lance, you're just trying to find something in play in fair territory. If you're able to find something that you can just like, I know that Johnson just hit a ground ball, but just put it in play and make the defense have to make the plays.
Looking in for the sign, Anderson gives it. Here comes a pitch from Lewis. Maybe she might want to change the signal on that one. That one went up and out of the strike zone. Third baseman Beadley is playing even with a bag. And that I find a little bit surprising. Here's the next one. Chopped Beadle. I apologize. Beadle, the third baseman. Alexis. Probably spent an hour putting her ponytail into a pigtail this morning.
That's
hanging
tough.
way down. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 called. Sneaky delivery that time from Drew Lewis. Caught the inside corner at the knees.
She's still finding ways to fool these batters, keep them off base. That's 11.
That brings up Megan Mormon, the shortstop for Oskaloosa. Singled in the first and scored a run and fly to center. This is her 3rd time up. Here's the pitch, and as she goes after the first one, puts it in play but foul.
She singled in the first inning, was run 4 of courtesy runner Macy Cryer would score the game's first run. But since that first inning, Lance, especially when Lewis came on, 11 consecutive outs recorded since Drew Lewis came into the game.
She pitched a no-hitter.
Perfect game.
So far. The delivery. Chopper. Oh, bounced off the glove, recovers. Nice throw and a nice scoop by Cheek over at first. Play goes 1-3 for the out 2 in the 5th inning here for Oskaloosa. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. We'll be back with the bottom of the 5th from Kruger Seeds Fields after this.
MidAmerican Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
All you have to do, you just have to get their feet here on the pavement and bing. Being in Des Moines, you just get it through the experience.
I'm a fan of a lot of our fast, casual cuisine.
A little theater, some great restaurants.
There's a lot going on musically.
If you can't find things to do in Des Moines,
you must be boring.
This is a magical place.
MidAmerican Energy and you.
I'm Lance
Together,
Reno along with
partnering
Emery
to change
Songer.
the energy landscape
This
by
4A
pioneering-
quarterfinal game is turning out to be one that may be surprising to some. Oskaloosa has a 2-0 lead over North Scott, the favored team.
Yeah, and you talked about the 4A and 5A brackets, pretty wide open all the way around. Oskaloosa certainly has the more recent history in their favor. North Scott, it's been 9 years since the school itself had ever been here. Many of the Oskaloosa players have been a part of successful teams that have been up here at the state tournament, but since Drew Lewis came on, this has been a pitcher's duel.
Here's the first pitch from Hacker to Cheek, the first baseman. Fouled off to the left. 2 runs on 4 hits for Oskaloosa. No runs on 2 hits for North Scott. The Lancers looking for their 27th win. Swing, a weak swing, if you would, by Ryan Cheek. Hacker really pulled the string on that one. That was a tough one.
Every time she's throwing that pitch, the batter just seems like they lose control of their body and just swing over the top helplessly.
You got lefty on lefty, the delivery. Nice breaking ball that broke wide to the other side of the plate.
We're into the 5th inning here. This is going to be the 40th pitch of the game for Hacker.
That's amazing. Here's the delivery. This one's in the air, down the line, foul by about 5 feet. 200 all the way around to the outfield fence, and it's about a 6-foot high fence covered with a plastic pipe of some kind in yellow. A lot of fans like to sit out on those bleachers out beyond in the outfield. And then that doesn't count the ones in the lawn chairs. Here's a swing and a miss at a changeup. In the dirt, the catcher, Mormon, picks it up, and the putout goes 2-3. Strikeout credit to Hacker. First out now. You mentioned the string and the number of pitches. Only 2 hits. Anderson got a hit with 2 outs last inning for North Scott. But this is crucial time. They need to put something up there. Here's one popped up, playable on the infield. Second baseman, Willis, with the catch. And that turns up the noise from the Oskaloosa cheering section.
They are
on camera.
They have not lost a step since I last saw them. Let's just say that.
So with 2 outs and nobody on here in the bottom of the 5th, right fielder Abby Moeller steps in. Popped to first base, her first time up. First pitch is a ball. Oskaloosa defense playing pretty well straight up. First baseman, third baseman, even with the bag. Shortstop, second baseman in the normal position. There's a nice pitch from Hacker. Froze Moeller for just a second. Was right there, right at the numbers for a strike.
Yeah, she's pitching very well right now.
Tip of the hat, too, to home plate umpire Mike Bell. Very consistent on his strike zone today as the next pitch comes in for strike 2. All the guys that we've done games for, guys and gals that we've done that they've been working the plate, very consistent on the strike zones. You don't get many questioning looks from the catcher or the hitters. This one's popped up. Playable in short left field. Shortstop. She had me deked out.
Yeah, she did. She had her back turned, and you saw left fielder Kaylee Johnson hustling in, but Haynes able to make the catch. 1-2-3 again for Hacker.
And that's a big 1-2-3. We go to the 6th inning here at Cougar Seeds Field in the Girls State Softball Tournament. Oskaloosa continues to hold the lead over North Scott.
They say Buena Vista University is in the middle of a bunch of fields.
Hey guys, wait up!
Game on. They say our idea of fun is morning tea, and afternoon tea,
And anytime tea.
and we hang out like bumps on a log.
They say Storm Lake, Iowa isn't in the center of the action. And when we study, we're not exactly grounded. But you know what we say.
You gotta see it to believe it.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise, and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
6th inning rolling around. Iowa girls softball goes normally 7 unless we're tied. And this one, basically all the scoring has come in the first inning. 2-0 Oskaloosa. Only 2 hits so far from North Scott. And the pitch count, Emery's been keeping track of that.
46 for Hacker.
Here's the pitch, right field. Should be playable. Easily caught by Moeller out there. And that retires Ashley Kindley. As Oskaloosa going through their lineup now for the 3rd time around.
So is Drew Lewis going to crack first, or is Hacker going to crack first? Or are we not going to see a pitcher
crack? I don't
crack?
think either one's going to crack. I think we're going to finish. My gut feeling says we finish about where we are on the scoreboard right now. Here's a pitch called by home plate umpire as a strike. Ava Vanderwall has put the bat on the ball, flied to center, and fouled out to the catcher. Here's the 0-1 delivery. At the knees, it's low for a ball.
Yeah, so, Lance, Lewis came on with a runner on first and nobody out in the second, and nobody has reached base since then.
That's correct. The string is right there. Brandmeier waits on deck for Oskaloosa, the visiting team. Here's the next pitch for a ball.
That's insanity to me.
We talked key to the game early on. Emery, if you'll remember, defense.
Yep.
Speed and defense. And right now, both teams are playing excellent defense. Here's a check. Tried to check it, but broke the wrist. Vanderwall has strike 2 on her.
Yeah, both teams have been, it's been kind of deceiving, and they haven't been easy plays, but both teams have been making solid plays throughout.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and popped foul out of play. Count remains as we were. Coach Harms showing a little more nervousness than normal. He's trying to look calm, but he's not. Inside, he's probably going 40 different directions.
Oh, he gets worked up. He'll never tell you that, but he gets worked up over there.
Here's the windup and the pitch. In the air, popped up. Not playable. Out of play, foul. Over our heads.
Now, I don't know if you noticed this, but of the last 5 batters now, 3 of them have gone at least 7 pitches deep to Lewis. So maybe Oski's trying to figure her out. I haven't been able to touch her yet, but they're trying to figure her out here.
So here comes the 2-2 pitch with 1 out. Top of the 6th. Taking for a ball.
Tight.
Up just about a 1/4 of an inch.
I liked where she went there because there was no way Vanderwall was going to catch up to a pitch there.
You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament 2019 presented by Iowa Farm Bureau and the Girls Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy Company. The pitch goes low for a ball, and that breaks the string. Count them up. How many consecutive? 1, 2.
13.
13 straight retired.
Out of the bullpen.
Yep.
And now this is the meat of the order. Braunmeyer at the plate now had the first RBI of the game.
Braunmeyer with the double and is grounded to second. Pitch. She's hacking up there. Just fouled it off to the right above the Oskaloosa dugout, the first base dugout.
Speaking of hack, Braunmeyer is batting for the pitcher, Haley Hacker, who has been phenomenal in her own right for Oskaloosa.
Takes more than one player as the delivery comes in, and it's going to be trouble out into short right field, but the base runner trying to misjudge it. So you have a fielder's choice on Brandmeier, and the putout goes 9-6 down at second base. She was in, the base runner, Vanderwall, in no man's land.
Yeah, there's nothing you could do about that. The right fielder bowler was so close to the ball, and she ended up at the last second letting it drop in front of her and made a nice play to second base.
So Maddie Haynes is up. She likes to get her swings. The shortstop swung through that pitch. So Oskaloosa still with a threat here, but 2 gone. Going to need a couple of hits or maybe a wild pitch, pass ball. Brandmeier will not look to steal at this point, it would appear. The pitch goes into the dirt, and there was almost your wild pitch.
Yeah, that's the second time she's let one go out of the hand that only made it about 10 feet in front of her and rolled all the way to home plate.
Coach Harms standing still. That probably is a sign that he wants. Here's the delivery up. There's your wild pitch, and down to second goes Brandmeier. But the throw nearly caught her. She did not sprint that time.
Well, how about Anderson, the catcher, even thinking about throwing it down there?
You got nothing to lose.
I know. I just have not seen that too often on a wild pitch, still making the throw down to second base.
She got a good bounce off the lower area here right in front of us. And Coach Harms now going to make a change, possibly a pinch runner.
Yep.
I don't think he was pleased with the effort going down to second.
Well, and this is a huge insurance run as well.
So we've got coming in.
Cryer's coming back in, this time as a pinch runner and not a courtesy runner.
Correct. That's the only way she can do that. It has to be separate innings.
So Macy Cryer, who did score a run running for Mormon earlier, and we know she's got great speed, so now she's in scoring position. That changes things, Lance, because now a base hit into the outfield, Coach Harms is likely going to be sending her.
Or a wild pitch.
Wild pitch makes a huge difference, too.
The pressure, though, on Maddie Haynes, the batter. You got to put the ball in play. Pitch goes low.
Well, they haven't gotten a hit off of pitcher Drew Lewis, although that looked like a hit. It was in the book as a fielder's choice.
So you're pulling out the sportscaster's jinx card here.
Not intentionally.
3-1 the count. 2 outs, a runner at second. Ground ball third. Almost bobbled. The rifle shot across the diamond.
See, I was fine.
From Beetle to Cheek. In time to retire the batter Renner Haynes for the out to end the inning. Oskaloosa comes up with no runs on no hits, no errors. One runner left on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th. North Scott trails Oskaloosa by a 2-0 score.
Mid-American Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Iowa Public Television is the home of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union Championships. We bring you live, uninterrupted coverage of the state championships in volleyball, basketball, soccer, and softball. Plus, special features highlighting the Iowa girl. Catch it all on statewide Iowa Public Television, on air or at iptv.org.
Mid-American Energy.
Welcome back to the 2019 Girls State Softball Championships, presented by Iowa Farm Bureau and the Girls Union Digital Network. Powered by Mid-American Energy Company, along with Anne-Marie Songer. I'm Lance Reno. Oskaloosa in the field here. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. And it is Alexis Beadle, third baseman for North Scott, that leads it off. Her team is trailing 2-0. Now she asks for time. Haley Hacker has done us tremendous start here for Oskaloosa. Not to mention, as Emery has mentioned three times, the efforts as a substitute pitcher. Drew Lewis has kept Oskaloosa's bats in check.
Still hasn't given up a hit, technically.
It's Hacker and Lewis pitchers duel right here.
It's weird, though, because it's Lewis in relief. You know,
Yes.
in softball, you don't usually see a pitcher come on in relief, not only that early, but then to have the success that she's had coming out of the bullpen. It's been really fun to watch these two pitchers work.
Was going to look up her number of starts that she had. Here's the pitch from Hacker. Oh, that was a weird pitch. Kind of like a butterfly out of her hand. A different release than I've seen all year.
She's showing a lot of different pitches today.
Good movement, though. Good location, up and down. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count the pitch. Got it up around the chin, but Beadle was anxious. Chased it, didn't catch it.
I haven't seen too many hitters so far today in the state tournament have that quick trigger, that little twitch muscle that when they see that ball coming near those letters and shoulders to instinctively swing, even though it's almost impossible to make a hit there.
Lewis has pitched 62 2/3 innings coming into the tournament, an ERA of 1.9, 61 strikeouts, 30 walks, and a record of 1-2, 17 earned runs, 23 appearances.
We got ourselves a substitution, my friend. A pinch hitter is going to be McKenna Schaffner is going to hit for Kate Hayes in the 9 slot.
Substitution is brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. Here's the pitch.
That's my mistake. It's not Schaffner. It is Natalie Neighbor is her name. No, that's not right either. It's Paige Westland. Paige Westland. Lance, you can go ahead and put me in my place, and I'll just sit here and mind my own business.
Here's the pitch from Hacker. Swung on and fell to the backstop. That evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Westland just a sophomore, but did get 44 at-bats this season. Batted only 182, but the coaching staff trying to ride something here.
Got to change. Got to just try to
something.
make the tempo of the pitcher Hacker. She's been in her tempo, as has Drew Lewis for North Scott. It's been kind of fun to watch. 1-1 count. Swung on and grounded to third. A play across the diamond. The cannon from Kinley at third over to Vanderwall at first. 5-3.
Now she played catcher for the first 3 or 4 years of her career in middle school and into high school with Coach Harms, so she does have a huge arm that she was developing when she was playing behind the plate.
So Oskaloosa here looking to preserve the 2-0 lead as Hacker continues to baffle the bats of the Lancers. Here's one in the air toward right. Playable, maybe. It's going to drop in front of the right fielder Dykstra, who was pedaling hard. Try to get that one on the catch. With 2 outs, North Scott has a runner at first.
Little Texas
Only
leaguer.
their third hit.
Sometimes it's all about where you put them and not how hard you hit them. But this is the right part of the order if you're North Scott, that you want to start wrapping these out.
On the other hand, this is where Oskaloosa wants to retire him here so they don't have to face this part in the 7th inning. In the bottom of the 7th. You can look at it two ways.
Yeah, you can get a couple of them out of the way here.
Here's Hacker's delivery up high for a ball. Kilberg represents maybe one of the last choices and chances for the Lancers of North Scott. 1 ball, no strikes, runner at first. Kilberg represents the game-tying run. Next pitch is on the corners at the knees. Boy, that one just sat out there nice, just waiting for the plate umpire Mike Bell to make the call, and he did. It was
good job by Mormon. I think she wanted to throw to first, but decided to frame the pitch instead and got the call.
Here's the delivery from Hacker, blocked by the catcher Mormon.
Wow.
That's a big, big play that won't show up in the scorebook anywhere. Yours, mine, or wherever.
Her right leg at the last moment kind of did one of those kick saves after that pitch hit the dirt. Got lucky.
2 balls and a strike here. The pitch, high.
She hasn't fallen behind too far. In fact, this is just the first time she has gone to a 3-ball count in the entire game, Lance.
North Scott here would like to keep it going with 2 outs.
And the meat of the order coming up behind
in the bottom of the 6th. If they could score to tie it or get the extra run, you're looking at the top of the 7th. There's the pitch up high for a ball, and the tying runs are aboard. The tying run, Brooke Kilborg, just walked. She's at first. At second is Taylor Robertson. And Oskaloosa here going to take some conference time and go out. Haley Hacker has not really lost much of anything, just missing on a couple of pitches right there.
And they were very close. So you know that, like I said, she hadn't even gone to a 3-ball count in this game to that point.
We are playing this game in the quarterfinals on Kruger Seeds Field from the Harlan Rogers Sports Complex in Fort Dodge, Iowa. The 2019 Girls State Softball Tournament's 4A quarterfinals. 5A games are scheduled to begin around 5 o'clock, so it's going to be a quick change in and out here for Emery Songer and myself, Lance Reno. You're watching the 2019 Girls State Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Mid-American Energy Championship Network.
Got your number 3 hitter here.
First conference for Oskaloosa. So he has 2 left. You can take them all in the same inning.
Yep.
On the 3rd, though, you got to change your pitcher if you go in the inning.
One of your 3 hits of the game so far, currently standing in the batter's box with Rachel Anderson, and the tying run, as you mentioned, lands at first base.
Both times she's put the ball in play to center. This time she goes foul off the right field line. Fly to center, single to center. The single was one that dropped about a half step in front of Walker out there in center, if you'll recall, in the 4th inning. So now Haley Hacker brings it home. A little outside, a little bit low. That evens the count of the ball and strike. Sam Lee, who has popped up twice to the infield, is the on-deck hitter. But right now, the run that Oskaloosa is concerned about is in the person of Brooke Kilberg at first base. Just off the outside is Hacker. And you can see the look in her eyes. She's beginning to feel a little bit of the tension here. She had not thrown many pitches coming in. She's probably going to match real close here in this inning that total. Here's the delivery. Swung on, popped foul, out of play to the right. Big strike right there for Hacker.
And then, like you said, on the other side, if she's able to get this out, you've erased the top 3rd of the order before the 7th inning.
And it's momentum time.
Oh, absolutely.
Momentum time for Oskaloosa, maybe. North Scott, base hit here, gives them some mo. Yeah, pitch in the air towards right field. It's going to be dropped in there. Gets away from the right fielder. 1 run is going to score. A 2nd run is going to score. And in at second base with an RBI double is Rachel Anderson. The complexion of this ball game just changed.
2-out single drops in front of Dykstra in right field for Robertson. The walk to Kilberg, and then a bloop double down the right field line. Dykstra took a little weird route because the ball kept slicing away from her, and she dove at the last second, couldn't squeeze it, and all of a sudden we got a tie ball game.
As we are in the bottom of the 6th with 2 out, all extra base hits during the Girls State Softball Tournament are brought to you by Kruger Seeds. The next time you're in need of corn or soybean seed, give your local Kruger Seeds dealer a call. Kruger Seeds. First class seed, first name service.
Kylie.
And a substitution. We got a runner.
Kylie Westland is going to be the courtesy runner for the catcher Anderson after her 2 RBI double.
Courtesy runner here in the fourth inning, or excuse me, the sixth inning.
And all of a sudden, Lance, she is the go-ahead runner in the sixth.
Substitutions today are brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. Here's a swing, and off the glove, off the right side. Big hit there. And it was not a solid one. It was one of those little squirrely type hits.
And just a lot of side spin, and Dykstra just couldn't quite line that up. It was a long run for her, and she just couldn't quite squeeze it as she made the dive.
And the field, if you'll notice, kind of slopes down and to the right.
Oh, yeah.
Foul territory.
Yeah, you get a good view of that here.
And pitch into Sam Lee is taken for a ball. Each team 2 runs, 4 hits. North Scott has not committed error. Oskaloosa has committed 1. That's how even this ball game is. The delivery. Parker trying a little bit too much. She's been a little bit on edge right here.
This sixth inning, after the 2-out single to Robertson, everything changed for her.
It's like the mental pressure finally started to take its toll.
That happens up here.
Here comes your 2-1 delivery. Outside corner at the waist for a strike. One thing North Scott can say is we tied the game.
And that takes a ton of pressure off them, especially with the way Lewis has been pitching.
Particularly since North Scott is the top-seeded team in this division. Or not the top-seeded team. I apologize.
They're the number 2 seed at least.
Here's in the air. Shortstop. Easy catch. We say that from here.
Right.
Not there for her. It's not. That's the out to end the inning. But North Scott with 2 runs on 2 base hits, a walk, no errors, 1 runner left. We go to the top of the 7th inning. This one's right where we started. Even Steven. It's tied at 2.
Mid-American Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Iowa Public Television is the home of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union Championships. We bring you live, uninterrupted coverage of the state championships in volleyball, basketball, soccer, and softball. Plus special features highlighting the Iowa girl. Catch it all on statewide Iowa Public Television, on air or at iptv.org.
We thank you for watching the Girls State Softball Tournament from Harlan Rogers Park in Fort Dodge, Iowa, being presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau and the Mid-American Energy Company Championship Network. The game has a different complexion here in the top of the 7th. Oskaloosa led it with 2 runs in the first and led it all the way through the bottom of the 6th when North Scott rallied with 2 runs. It's a tie. 2 runs, 4 hits each team as Sophie Dykstra starts off the top of the 7th for the Indians of Oskaloosa. And she has a 1-ball, 1-strike count here. Taylor Wills and Kaylee Johnson coming up. And Wills has a hit, but not off Drew Lewis, who came in with nobody out in the 2nd. And she has been masterful, to say the least, Emery.
Yeah, 73 pitches she's thrown, no hits, 1 walk, that's it.
2-ball, 1-strike count to Dykstra. Oskaloosa needs a runner. There's one in the air to right. But the right fielder has it measured. Now that ball had a little bit of spin, and I had to wait to make sure she had it corralled.
When it hits like off the end of the bat like that, and that's just like what happened in the double by Anderson, which scored the 2 runs last inning in the right field. It just has that little side spin to it and just kind of in the air slopes down and away from the right fielder.
Taylor Wills up now for the Indians, has a single to short stolen base. Got as far as 3rd in the 2nd, and that's when the pitching change was made. How big would that run have been had it been scored? Here's another pitch to Wills from Drew Lewis at the knees, called strike 2. Oskaloosa needing a runner to regain the lead here. North Scott trying to prevent that. Here's a foul ball. Willis stays alive.
It's crazy how close a lot of these games are, even despite the seeding. And I've called dozens of games at the state tournament, Lance, and I know you have too. It's the level of competition in all 5 of the classes routinely. We see classic games like this going to the final at bat.
You can throw your hat over the top of the field and not lose anything.
Yeah.
Here's the wind and the pitch. In the air, but not deep enough. The right fielder coming in, calling for it. Moeller makes the grab. So Oskaloosa's putting the bat on the ball, but Lewis putting some spin on it that both hits this inning have been to right field.
And what she's done well is first time through against these Oski batters, she was kind of working them on the inside. Now she's working them a little off the plate. They still haven't gotten a real good look at her.
The pitch is in the air. Swung on the first pitch, center fielder Kilbert. And it's an easy inning defensively for North Scott. No runs, hits, errors, or runners left. And the Oskaloosa 7th, we go to the bottom of the 7th, could be the deciding inning. Oskaloosa and North Scott tied at 2.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
All you have to do is you just have to get their feet here on the pavement and bing. Being in Des Moines, you just get it through the experience.
I'm a fan of a lot of our fast, casual cuisine.
A little theater, some great restaurants.
There's a lot going on musically.
If you can't find things to do in Des Moines,
you must be boring.
This is a magical place.
All you have to do.
We're back for the bottom of the 7th inning. We're being me, Lance Reno, along with Emery Songer, the analyst. We go to the 7th. North Scott with some momentum. Emery coming in.
Big time momentum with 2 outs, able to rally with a little bloop single, a walk, and then a bloop double.
We start at the number 6 spot in their order. Ashlyn Shannon, the designated player.
This is actually Ryan Cheek here, the 5.
Ryan Cheek.
5 spot. But yeah, and then the very quick, maybe the quickest inning that Drew Lewis has had.
And now we have time called, or did we have time granted? As umpire Bell is going to go out there. You're right.
So did you see that there? The batter, Cheek, Lance, had called time but didn't want to step out of the box and kept calling time. And then Hacker, thrown off by the whole thing. Home plate umpire Mike Bell didn't call time.
Awards the strike.
And then she stopped her motion, which is an illegal pitch, and it's a ball in the count. She didn't even release it.
The scoreboard has 1-1. It hits that count that he has as well. Here's the ground ball. Left side and glove. Nice stretch at first by Vanderwall.
Whoa.
Haynes got it over there with a rocket shot.
How did she dig that out of the dirt?
I was blocked out by the catcher.
I mean, that was as tough a hop as a shortstop will get. It bounced about 2 feet in front of her and somehow dug that out and made a good throw to first.
Momentum is changing again. Swinging back to the visiting team, the Indians of Oskaloosa. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. North Scott needs a runner. Here's a swing foul ball.
That was a huge out, too. You don't want that leadoff batter getting on, especially now that it's a walk-off scenario on the first run that the home team would score in this tie ball game.
Haley Hacker. Been the story for Oskaloosa. The story for North Scott. Drew Lewis, both pitchers. One a righty, one a lefty. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Missing low and away. Mormon behind the plate has the responsibility of calling the pitches. I'm not sure whether she gets the signs from the bench. She looks over, gets the sign. Here's the 1-1 delivery. In the air, toward left. Playable for the left fielder Johnson. She has it for out number 2. I may be premature, but I think we're going to go an extra or two.
I don't know, Lance. A two-out rally last inning by these Lancers.
But neither one really able to generate something consistent.
No, and the two hits in that inning off Hacker were very soft shots out in the right field.
So the 2-out, stepping into the box, Abby Moeller, the right fielder, who's made a couple nice plays out there.
Yeah, she has.
For North Scott's Lancers. The pitch is a ball. Alexis Beadle waits on deck. Pitch in the air, fouled out of play. We've had a couple extra inning games in the tournament so far.
Well, I can tell you this. They get more and more thrilling as the tourney moves on, obviously, and I've seen plenty of them myself. I call a 16-inning game with Eddyville, Blacksburg, Fremont, Iowa City, Regina a couple years ago. They don't get old.
Here's a shot down the left field line. It's going to bounce to the fence. Around first, on her way to second is Moeller. The relay will hold her there. So that's a 2-out double for the Lancers of North Scott.
And that's your winning run right there, Lance. Now, what does a sophomore Hacker have in her? Because this is gut check time, and it looks like she's going to get a pinch hitter to face for the first time.
Alexis Beadle.
Well, it'll be
the scheduled hitter.
Kaylee Girardi is going to hit. This is going to be her second at-bat of the season, Lance. How about that for your second at-bat?
She pinch hits here in the 7th inning. And the game on the line.
I'm telling you, the gumption, Coach Holly Holting to bring in a sophomore that's gotten all of one at-bat. And yes, she did get that at-bat, but this is the second at-bat on the season for Kaylee Girardi, and the potential game-winning run to send them into the semifinals of the state tournament is at second base.
Each team will play again in this tournament, but one will play on the consolation side of the bracket. Now they're in the championship semifinals. Here comes the pitch from Haley Hacker. Fouled to the backstop. Strike one. Kate Hayes waits on deck. Evidently, Coach Holsing, though, knows something about this young lady, Moeller. Maybe on the varsity level, maybe she's had a good JV season as well. I don't expect a bunt here, although the way this game has gone,
you don't know.
Be surprised.
Right.
Here comes Hacker's delivery. Foul to the backstop. And she's quickly ahead on the count, 0-2.
Mormon fielded that with her bare hand off the ricochet.
Now, a point here that maybe a lot of people might miss, when you had the coach bringing in the pinch hitter, that slowed Hacker down and gave her a chance to recoup her thinking and ways of going. One pitch away from going extras. This one's outside. Ball. Girardi didn't offer it that one.
Well, she's had to have gotten a lot of at-bats at that JV level, like you mentioned, Lance, and Coach Holting knows something we don't.
So here comes your 1-2 delivery. Extra innings on the line. It's fouled. Got around on it. Made contact.
Coach Holting she is going crazy down there.
And the ball almost hit her.
she's jumping around.
Dancing
she's screaming.
away.
She's doing all sorts of stuff down there.
Now whatever you do, this pressure's on Mormon, the catcher. No pass balls here. As the pitch, the 1-2 delivery, swung on and missed.
Huge strikeout.
And we're going extra. So Hacker able to get the pinch hitter. Giraldi's swinging in the inning. No runs, one hit, no errors, one left. After 7 complete innings of play, Oskaloosa and North Scott are even Steven at 2. We go to the 8th.
Mid-American Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
I am smart.
I am smart.
I am smart.
I am kind.
Kind.
I am kind.
I am strong.
Strong. Strong.
I am important.
I am important.
I am important.
I am the Iowa girl.
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 I am the Iowa girl. I am the Iowa girl.
You're watching the 2019 Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Mid-American Energy Company Championship Network. As we've played 7 in this 4A quarterfinal, Oskaloosa and North Scott tied at 2. Emery Songer alongside me, Lance Reno. Pinch hitter in the 8th inning here for Oskaloosa's Faith Duranda. And she is quickly behind on the count to Drew Lewis, who has been masterful from the slab for North Scott, and she continues to be masterful, getting Duranda to chase one and miss. So we'll go back to the top of the Oskaloosa order, which you and I were talking about whole game long. The advantage going through that order for Oskaloosa several times should have resulted in more runs, but it hasn't.
Drew Lewis has just been that good, and Duranda actually is 3rd on the team in RBIs this season, but kind of lost her spot in the batting order in recent weeks, just a freshman.
Here's a pop playable in foul territory. Near the fence, a step away. Cheek, the first baseman, gathers it in. Top of the order for the Indians.
And you can just see right there, that's a perfect example right there from Mormon, who had a hit, and her courtesy runner scored a run. They're just not getting good contact. A lot of pop-ups.
As everything but Oskaloosa making contact. Surely it's going to drop in for one of them. North Scott kept hanging in there, putting the ball in play.
And their big hits were both really softly hitting the right field on the right field side.
As the pitch from Lewis is outside for ball. I just realized something. My score sheet can go up to 12 innings.
Uh-oh.
How's your voice?
I did, like I said, I did 16, and I have a book that goes up to 15. I had to get new pages.
There's a foul off to the right. 2 outs and nobody on here in the top of the 8th for the Oskaloosa Indians.
Lance, you know this just as well as I do. You never know what's going to happen at Harlan Rogers Park here in the middle of July.
Expect the unexpected. 1-1 count, nobody on, as Oskaloosa's Ashley Kinley trying to line it. Did she catch it in the air, or was it trapped? Plate umpire said that's a catch. That's also the 3rd out for the Indians here. They go up and down in order in the top of the 8th inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th. North Scott and Oskaloosa tied at 2.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at Mid-American Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hey, high school sports fans. Are you following the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union online? Stay up to date with the latest information and scores from across the state as we share highlights and achievements from our student athletes. You can follow all the action on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Just search at IGHSAU.
Extra innings from the Kruger Seeds Field at the Harlan Rogers Sports Complex in Fort Dodge. Oskaloosa went up and down in order in the top of the 8th, 1, 2, 3, and North Scott now will go number 9, number 1, and number 2. And it's the number 2 that Oskaloosa is probably going to be concerned about. Taylor Robertson, who has 2 for 3 day going.
Yeah, and that top of the order, they've gotten more and more comfortable each time they've come up here. And if you're Haley Hacker, you got to dig deep, find a way to get through this inning. This is going to be a real tough one with that top of the order coming around.
Hayes has re-entered. Westling had pinch hit. And now we have play halted momentarily.
Home plate umpire Mike Bell, he likes to make sure everybody's in the right spot, and he kind of redirected Robertson in the on-deck circle to the right spot.
Pitch from Hacker to Hayes is bunted down the first base line. Have to make a quick throw, and they do. Not in time. That ball had enough spin that it just hung on the ground before the first baseman Vanderwall could get to it. So a bunt single here in the bottom of the 8th sets it up. The winning run at first base and nobody out for Taylor Robertson, the shortstop. Had a triple, grounded to second, had a single to right, and scored a run.
This is danger time now.
Up for a second time in 2 innings. Here's the ball bunted. Third baseman will go to first in time on the sacrifice. The runner first, Hayes, advances to second base. Just 120 feet away from ending Oskaloosa here.
That was a 5-4 put out. Good play by Kinley, the third baseman. It was the second baseman, Wills, covering first, but good hustle also by Haley Hacker because third base was completely unoccupied when Kinley made the play, and it would have been easy for Hayes to just keep going and go to third base if Hacker hadn't thought quickly enough to run to third and cover.
That is correct. Brooke Kilberg is up. Now Coach Harms. We have an odd offensive conference or a defensive? Who's going to get the conference here?
It was an offensive conference, and then it became a defensive conference. I don't
so
know.
Each
maybe
team is charged with one.
I think maybe both teams would get charged with one there.
So here we go as the assistant coach for Oskaloosa going to go out and talk to the outfielders. When you look here at Kilberg, she has gone to the right side. Both times she's put the ball in play. Once to first and fly ball to right, and then drew a walk. And she scored the tying run.
And she is a good average hitter as well, 342 on the season, and she is an extra base hit machine. So
the only thing those stat sheets don't show you is clutch situations.
That is true. I mean,
so it's up now to Haley Hacker. Can she summon enough gumption here?
Coach Harms moving the outfield in so they can try to cut down the run at the plate.
Pitch is just low on the top part of the strike zone. Just a little bit high, I should say, not low. One ball and no strikes. Really, you could almost put her on first.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Set up your double play. Here's the pitch. Bunted. It goes to the pitcher who bobbles it. Hacker couldn't come up with it, and now down to second base. The pitcher, Hacker, tried to get into the pitcher's circle to prevent the runner, but she had already started towards second.
Yeah. And it's not
on her way.
And that run doesn't matter. If that run is going to get on base, then that's not a problem. She lifted her head up before she threw it to first base, so that hurts you in the way that there was going to be a runner on third anyway, but instead of 2 outs, there's still just one. So you think here this makes total sense to just walk Rachel Anderson right and just put her on first.
That's what we're going to do here, the intentional walk. Now you set up anything on the ground. The key here is to get the ball hit on the ground sharply and not just a little spinner.
And you want to come home. And now all the outfielders need to come in to where whether they catch it on the fly or it's a base hit, they need to be able to throw it to the plate.
I want to take exception with you here. You get a line drive to like the third baseman or shortstop and the runner's off the base. Then you get the double play rather than going home.
Yep, absolutely.
So if you're the umpire, you got to put all these situations in your mind so you know what to anticipate on making the call. So here it is, game on the line as Sam Lee checks in. She has popped it up 3 times on the infield. Infield fly possibility here.
Yep.
The pitch popped up out towards center. We're going to have a play at the plate. The ball is caught by Walker. Here comes the throw. And it's safe. She slid under the tag. Whoa, what a play.
Oh, boy.
Sam Lee got it out to the outfield for the second out. And the throw home, tagging and scoring.
Oh, boy.
On the play was
They're going to talk about it now. They're going to talk about it. The throw was there. What a throw by Walker in center.
Where was the tag made? That's the answer to it here. We do not have the instant replay. They're going to rule safe at the plate. So it is the RBI by Sam Lee in the bottom of the 8th inning that allows North Scott Lancers to win their 27th game of the season. And the winning run scored by Hayes here. So in wrapping up our game broadcast, we look here at 2 runs on 4 hits, 2 errors for Oskaloosa. North Scott 3 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. Haley Hacker takes a tough loss, and getting the win in relief with a superlative performance, Drew Lewis, who came in the 2nd inning of this game. And you, Emery, have mentioned it over and over and over again how dominant those 2 pitchers were until the dam cracked just a little bit.
Yeah, and North Scott, we talked about it at the Open. Unbelievable in terms of the way they can put the ball in play. And eventually they just found spots, and that's what happened down there in right field. I cannot tell you enough about that throw by the 8th grader, Malia Walker, in center field. That was on time, but a great slide by Kate Hayes around the tag, and that's what home plate umpire Mike Bell called, and that was the game-winning run. North Scott into the semifinals coming up later this week.
And we thank Emery for joining us here and hope that you enjoyed the game broadcast. The final score shows North Scott 3 and Oskaloosa Indians 2 as North Scott advances to the semifinals. On behalf of Emery Songer and our producers and all of us here at the Digital Sports Network from Harlan Rogers Park in Fort Dodge, I'm Lance Reno signing off. Thanks for joining us today. Once again, North Scott advances with a 3-2 win in 8 innings over the Indians of Oskaloosa.